wa mtundu wina uliwonse. Izi ali sukulu ali wang'ono. Kamuzu analimbikitsanso kukopa makampani ndiponso a bizinesi a maiko akunja.
Do you have any impressions on Kamuzu? What do you think his legacy in Malawi needs to be, or what should history record about him?
Well, you see, I really hope that it will record both the good and the bad. There's a tendency, particularly now, to sort of whitewash some of the harsher aspects of his rule. It's true that he did great things. I think from the point of view, for example, of the nationalist struggle, it's clear that without his involvement in 1958, his direct involvement by coming to the country and sort of getting really aggressive about getting Malawi, Nyasaland then out of the federal system, you know, there's no doubt that his involvement really galvanized the nationalist movement and accelerated Malawi's independence. I think that if he hadn't come, independence might have taken much longer to achieve. I also think that, you know, certainly in the first years, you see, even with the cabinet crisis and all the signs of repression that were already evident, even just before independence, but also just after independence, even with all of that, but still at the beginning until probably the mid-70s and even probably until towards the end of the 70s, he really did put a lot of effort in sort of building up a basic infrastructure for the country to develop on. I mean, the road system that he started, of course he didn't do enough in my opinion, but it was still quite an impressive effort. You could see that a lot of government effort was going towards building the infrastructure of the country. You know, the hydroelectricity system, a little bit of an extension on the rail system all the way to Njinji, actually, you know, from I believe Salima, where it had stopped before. A good number of hospitals, a good number of schools, and so on. So there was a sort of an evident effort at developing the infrastructure of the country.
There's a school of thought that seems to think that maybe he jumped the gun a little bit. If he had let the Europeans run the place for a little while, development might have been at a more advanced stage. What do you think comes first, development or independence? Would you rather be independent and poor, or the other?
Well, no, I think that it's not true at all that if we had let the Europeans run our country, it would have developed faster. I really don't think so. Don't forget that the model, the political model to start with, of the colonial system was based on an industrialized southern Rhodesia and a slightly more, slightly less industrialized northern Rhodesia, and a sort of a labor pool in Nyasaland. And the idea of developing Nyasaland in the sense that we tend to understand development, you know, a good road infrastructure, some, you know, good communications, etc. I don't think were a priority for the colonial administration. They might come, but they might. I don't think they would have come at the speed with which they came with the advent of our independence. So I don't agree with that school of thought at all. I really think that you need political independence. I am one of the believers of this maxim from Kwame Nkrumah, that seek ye first political kingdom, and then the economic kingdom will follow. I strongly believe that. I don't think that a colonizing power can or could have had as much of an interest in developing Malawi as the Malawians themselves demonstrated to have since independence.
So who do you think is the best